Good morning, mind and muscle enthusiasts. This is Childerick Marshowitz. I'm here to talk to you about the benefits of olive oil. Please, if you like this video, hit the thumbs up button, share it, and make a comment. That helps us get our YouTube videos out and about. We're going to talk today about all bodybuilders need to take. Welcome back, mind and muscle enthusiast. Today I'm going to talk to you about the health benefits of olive oil. Particularly for bodybuilders, this is an extraordinarily important component of the diet. It's got a ton of health benefits. It's very important for anyone that would be taking anabolic steroids, which I know many of you do, particularly also if you're taking SARMs, which do have cardiovascular issues as well, and even test boosters and things like that. So let's talk about why it's important for bodybuilders to take olive oil. Why it's such a great fat to supplement the diet, and how you can take it naturally and easily without making yourself miserable. So first off, let's talk about the fat burning effects. Olive oil is one of the few fats that doesn't lead to fat accumulation. In fact, some studies have implicated that it has fat burning effects. The polyphenols found in the olive oil that we're going to talk about today will help you actually ramp up your internal furnace and provide some fat burning benefits unparalleled with any other oils that you can take. Secondarily, insulin. So it sensitizes the insulin receptors and allows you to utilize insulin more effectively. So if you talk to very elite level competitive bodybuilders, they're going to probably be using insulin. That's because insulin is extraordinarily anabolic and puts all kinds of muscle on you, particularly when you're pairing them with hormone augmentation. So what they found is olive oil reduces the chance of type 2 diabetes by up to 40%. Which means that it's sensitizing the insulin receptor and allowing your muscles to take in more nutrients. And that's super important for anyone trying to build muscle. Joint repair. They found that olive oil is actually as effective as ibuprofen as an anti-inflammatory. And so if you've been lifting as long as I have, you'll probably realize that things start to hurt, things start to get a little bit tender, and it's extraordinarily important to strengthen the joints as well as keeping that inflammation down. So olive oil provides an amazing beneficial effect that's additive when you take it for anti-inflammatories. And finally, the most compelling is heart disease. Anyone that takes anabolics, anyone that's been in the steroid community will know, in the bodybuilding community, will know that there are all kinds of competitors that are dropping dead from heart disease. Heart disease is one of the things that bodybuilders need to really be on guard about. Taking anabolic steroids does have tons of cardiovascular damaging effects. SARMs also have that effect, as well as if you're boosting your testosterone, you might want to just be careful. There's no real implication on that yet. So things like pro-hormones and test boosters don't seem to have that effect, but it's never a problem to be extra careful. So when you're looking at heart disease, it will certainly help you lower your cholesterol and increase the good cholesterol. So it'll keep that cholesterol from being oxidized, because that's what actually does the damage, is the oxidation of cholesterol. Cholesterol itself is actually quite good for you. But if you fry it like a piece of bacon or a fried egg, that cholesterol binds with oxygen and makes a very, very potent inflammatory structure that will do a lot of damage to the cardiovascular system. It also helps to lower blood pressure. So if you're looking at heavy lifting, a bodybuilder's blood pressure can shoot through the roof, get up sometimes to levels that are completely unhealthy. That can lead to strokes. That can lead to cardiovascular damage. High blood pressure is one of the hardest things to combat when you're competitive bodybuilding. We're typically using fat burners. We might be using clenbuterol. We might be using all sorts of things that are going to raise up the blood pressure, including dry hormones like Masteron, Primabol, and those kinds of things. Those are going to drive up the blood pressure because estrogen keeps the blood pressure down. Dry hormones, which everyone seems to like because they give you that hardness and that density, drives up the blood pressure. So we've got to be really careful. So let's talk about what kind of olive oil we want to use. We want to use extra virgin unfiltered olive oil. This is the kind that you're going to need to use. Do not buy the cheap refined olive oil that you find in the market. That stuff has all kinds of problems. First, it strips off the fat-burning polyphenols, which also provide the antioxidant benefits. So they take that out of there, so it gets that nice clean look. This stuff is cloudy and dirty. It also removes the strong taste and flavor. Okay, well, that's great if you're, cooking something for your grandmother. But if you're a competitive bodybuilder looking for the health benefits, you want to have the strong tasting polyphenol filled olive oil. And then finally, what happens with olive oil is that it does sit out in the air. And so that will actually take in oxygen, right? And take in air that will then oxidize and make go rancid the olive oil that you have. So the problem with that is if you've ever seen butter, if someone's left butter out, what you might notice is that the outside of the butter will have a more yellow effect than the inside. Do it. Leave a stick of butter out for a couple days and see what happens. The longer you leave it out, if you slice into it, the deeper that oxidation becomes. So that's actually showing you in real time, well, near real time, how oxidation affects fats. That butter, that oxidized butter, is extremely bad for you. They actually did a study that they took two groups of people and they split them in half. It was a double-blind, placebo-controlled study where they gave the ability to eat as much cheese as you wanted or as much butter as you wanted. And they did a test on the cardiovascular damage. And then they crossed them over to see, that's what the crossover testing would be, and to see what it would do. So what they found is anyone that ate cheese, which has casein in it and usually has some colorant in there and some antioxidants, didn't cause any cardiovascular damage from oxidized cholesterol. But the butter group had massive cardiovascular damage. So the ability to keep your olive oil from getting rancid and getting oxidized is super important. So what I like to do is I like to grab some high gamma vitamin E, and I would squeeze a couple of those capsules into my olive oil, into my unfiltered olive oil, just to give it some antioxidant protection. So what I want to do is show you the easiest way to take olive oil, because it's actually pretty hard to get a decent amount of olive oil. I've tried putting it on steaks. It's fine to put it on salads, but it pools up at the bottom half the time, and we end up throwing a lot of it away. So how do we find an easy way to take olive oil? And I call these olive bombs. So what I do is I get a can of colossal olives from Walmart or wherever. It's about $2. And literally what I do all day is I'll take out one of these. They make for a perfect little cup, a little vessel. And put my finger over the bottom, fill up the olive with oil, and eat it. So you need to be taking 6 to 8 grams of olive oil per day. They sell them in capsules, so you'd have to take 6 or 8 capsules. That would be expensive and wouldn't go very far. So this, for about $10 a week, you can have 6 to 7 grams of unrefined virgin olive oil per week, save your cardiovascular, help your insulin, help your fat burning, and give you a much longer lifespan. So this is Childerick Marshowitz for Mind and Muscle, and I hope this little health tidbit has helped you out. And stay healthy and keep bodybuilding.